got me started in making specifically, like making tarot mats, is that I had to learn how to sew because we opened up the Makerspace in 2015 and we had a bunch of sewing machines and nobody in the department knew how to use them. So the library paid for me to take sewing classes at Material. Material Girl is still there in Crystal Lake, but they no longer offer classes or sell fabric. But I would go there, learn how to quilt, and then be surrounded by these beautiful displays of fabric and fat quarters in particular. I have a little bit of an addiction to. So I have a collection of fat quarters that needed something to be done with. So I took different patterned fabric and solid, or mostly solid fabrics, and made reversible tarot mats with them. I just like to feel like I created something. So the necessity for it was because we needed some expertise in the department, but it was a fun skill to learn, and I don't know, it feels empowering when you do something. I don't know, my brain feels healthier when I'm learning a new creative skill. So in my free time, my first go-to creative project is usually writing. But I find that I need a break from that. And so making something with my hands, something that incorporates color, just feels satisfying. And when I learn something new, I don't know, I feel like that in itself is inspiring. Because as an adult, it's harder to learn, or it feels harder to learn. We just want to be experts at things. And so going through the process of not knowing how to do something, learning how to do it, and then being able to create something beautiful is sort of inspiration. I learned knitting from a friend, but then I worked with people who love knitting. And so that challenged me to try different types of yarn, try different patterns. I could bring it in and I could talk to another staff member about a section of the pattern I was struggling with. So I think just by the nature of who we have on staff, their interests, and just because we're so friendly, it becomes contagious. So if somebody's into making something, they talk about it, we're willing to try. That's when I started doing diamond painting, because that was something that was available to staff. I had never heard of it. I didn't go out of my way to discover these things on my own, but just by the nature of being here, that's sort of something else that I'd learned how to do. The biggest thing is there's so many outlets to learn how to make things. The internet there's so many people who are willing to share their expertise, patterns, instructions. You can Google anything. You can get on Pinterest. We have programs that we offer, and I'm totally blanking on the name. Creative Bug. I used Creative Bug at home during the pandemic, and I learned how to make a shirt. And so that's very hands-on specific instruction. So if it's hard to find online, or you're trying to find a very basic, explains everything you need to know, Creative Bug is really useful for that. And I was afraid to make clothing, mainly because of the neckline. Anything, sewing curves is not my favorite. But I felt confident enough to try it because of the Creative Bug video. So especially I have a hard time reading a pattern or reading a book, and translating that into action. So to be able to visually see it, Creative Bug is really helpful for that. For me, that's actually writing. That's writing is the thing that I could do. I do it without pay. I do I'm always thinking about it. I will plan my time off around writing. I have my weekend rituals that I do. I have baking that I do specifically, things that I want to eat when I write. And what I love about it in particular is I have a writing degree before I got my library degree. As I've seen my progress since, middle school. And like in high school, like I wrote a novel in Algebra 2 class, like on napkins. So that's something that I can do with, without, it's hard sometimes, it's not always easy, but it's rewarding and it kind of fills my cup in a way that nothing really else does. And like that's my retirement plan, it's just to write. Okay. So that's something that I love to do, and like I feel like I live and breathe that.